Hi, I'm Regina Price, and welcome to Safety First. I'm now joined with Mr. C. Phillips Ferguson, who is the City of Suffolk's Commonwealth's attorney, and Ms. Joan Jones, who is the Community Outreach Coordinator with the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about the first ever Citizens Academy in Hampton Roads. And Mr. Ferguson, if you could start out by letting us know what exactly is the Suffolk's Commonwealth's Attorney's Citizen Academy.
This is the first opportunity we've had to present this program. It's an academy that's designed to educate and bring awareness to the citizens of Suffolk in explaining and educating the purpose of the Suffolk Commonwealth's Attorney's Office. We think that by doing this academy, we will be able to help educate the citizens so they would be better informed, and I've always been a firm believer that when citizens are better educated and better informed, they can be better citizens.
Oh, okay. And what exactly will this class offer citizens?
The class will actually offer and make them aware of the functions and roles of each of the employees in the Suffolk Commonwealth Attorney's Office. We'll also give the citizens a better opportunity and understanding of the judicial system or the criminal justice system, the cases we prosecute, the community outreach program that we have in Suffolk, and also our victim witness services program.
Okay, well, it sounds like there's a lot going on within the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office, so this is a perfect opportunity to know exactly what you all do. That's wonderful. Ms. Joan, if you could talk a little bit about the contact information. If people are interested, what is the cost for the academy?
The cost is free.
Oh, it's free. Okay.
It's nothing for the person or the citizen to attend. We would expect, though, however, for the citizens that have signed up for the academy to attend all 9 sessions and graduation. This is due to the fact that the class may be full, and we may need to defer individuals to our next academy session.
Okay.
I'd like to follow up a little bit on what Joan said. I think it's important in this day and time that we as public officials and as that we offer opportunities to the people, particularly with the economic climate as it is, to do the things or to try to offer free opportunities, free educational programs where possible. I think it's important to note that the people in the Commonwealth Attorney's Office who are putting on this program are doing it, they're volunteering their time, they're receiving no additional compensation at all, but we feel it's important for the people and the citizens to have this opportunity. I would like to also add that we're very pleased that not only is the Commonwealth Attorney's Office going to be involved in this program, but the Clerk of Circuit Court, Randy Carter, has agreed as well that he would be involved and make a presentation on his office and what it does. And Sheriff Raleigh Isaacs is going to be doing the same thing regarding the Sheriff's Office. So I think when the people attend, they will really get a big picture overview of the entire criminal justice system, the roles that all of us play, and the how things occur. And my general view has always been the more we can educate our citizens, they will become much more knowledgeable, and that's a very good thing.
All right. So you're providing the opportunity, and we need the citizens to take full advantage of it. Speaking of the citizens that we're trying to have attend the academy, who can attend the academy?
Any adult ages 18 or older, male, female, from all over the entire city. We want all 4 corners of the city to participate.
Okay, and when will the academy actually begin?
The first date is November 8th. Each day is from 6 to 7. The dates that they will be attending will be every Tuesday and Thursday. And it will be held here at the courthouse here, Godwin Courts Building at 150 North Main Street. And they can contact me to receive more information. My direct number is 757-514-4379, or I can send them a flyer by mail, or they can actually download their flyer if they would like by using our website through the city. And that website is www.suffolk www.suffolk.va/CWATTY/ or www.suffolk.va.us.
Okay. And as the one spearheading this academy, what can citizens expect to hear from you?
Well, I think there's several things. Number one, I will discuss my role not only as Commonwealth Attorney, but also as an elected constitutional officer. As an elected constitutional officer, we answer directly to the people. And as a result of that, as a part of that process, we will explain, or I will explain, this office's structure, the accomplishments that we have done. We will also talk a little bit about, the staff will talk about a number of areas that they particularly specialize in, including violent crimes, drugs, gangs, identity theft and fraud, sex crimes. We'll talk about the victim witness services that we do have here, and also about our community outreach programs, the things we're trying to do to help the citizens in Suffolk from that aspect. And those would be the primary things that we will be talking about. Many people know about government in a big picture sense or in a small sense, but on the other hand, they don't know the specifics sometimes about exactly what individual offices do. This will give them an opportunity to see things in a much more in-depth type of situation.
Okay. And we'll definitely have the contact information that you provided, Ms. Jones, throughout the segment. Just to continue on, what can citizens expect to hear? You mentioned him earlier, our Clerk of Court, Randy Carter.
Randy is the Clerk of Circuit Court, and he will give an overview of the clerk's office, explaining real estate transfers, docketing, and indexing of subdivision plats, issuing of marriage licenses, filing of all civil suits, docketing and filing of criminal actions, filing divorce suits, and filing adoption petitions. He will also give a tour of his office as well.
Okay. Okay, and you also mentioned the Sheriff Raleigh Isaacs. What are some topics that he would also provide for the Academy?
Sheriff Isaacs would give an office overview of his office, the Sheriff's Office. He will explain his office responsibilities for the courthouse security and serving subpoenas, levies, warrants, evictions, show causes, divorce papers, garnishments, and many others. Lieutenant Darton, James Darton, will give the citizens a tour of the Godwin Courts building, which I think will be really exciting to the citizens that will come about.
Okay. Well, this is definitely, it covers the frequently asked questions that citizens might have, and you kind of get it all in one place and one event. That's very commendable, and I really hope that everyone will, take the information we talked about today and apply for or come out for the Citizens Academy.
I'd just like to say one final thing. I think there have been several police departments and maybe sheriff's offices that have actually presented a program similar to this. Mm-hmm. To my knowledge, it has never been done by a Commonwealth Attorney's Office that I'm aware of. Mm-hmm. And we are hoping that by doing this, again, we can follow perhaps and do some of the similar things that sheriffs and police departments have done insofar as really educating the public on what we do. And I think anytime we can do that, that certainly is to the benefit of the people.
Well, I certainly do appreciate you taking the time to sit with us in this segment of Safety First. And we'll be back with a little bit more, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Safety First. We still have the wonderful presence of Mr. C. Phillips Ferguson, who is the City of Suffolk Commonwealth Attorney, and we are now joined with Mr. James Weiser, who is the Deputy Commonwealth Attorney. So So thank you for coming along on the show.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
And in this portion of Safety First, we're going to talk a little bit about gang awareness. And Jim, we'll start with you. What exactly is a gang?
A gang is, well, there is a statutory definition that we use when we prosecute certain gang-related cases. It's 3 or more individuals, and they have to have an identifiable sign or symbol or name, whether it be Bloods or Crips or some kind of hand sign or some kind of symbol that they would use to identify their gang. And then their primary objective has to be the commission of criminal activities.
Okay. And was there a particular event or events that highlighted the need to address the situation concerning gangs within the city of Suffolk?
Yes. Back in, I believe it was July of '05, we had a shooting that occurred. I call it a drive-by shooting. And we were starting to experience at that time and even shortly thereafter a series of events where people were coming through neighborhoods and just shooting at houses and people in those houses. And what was happening is the police were responding to those situations, but unfortunately it was occurring after the shooting had occurred. We took a look at that situation from then through about '07 and tried to determine exactly fully what was happening because, and what we found was that there were a number of gangs here in the city of Suffolk that were actually utilizing that practice. And for any that don't understand, gangs are probably the greatest potential threat to public order that can exist in a city. If gangs come in and take over a city, then that city is in serious trouble. So what we did, there was a second incident that occurred in '06 or '07, where there was another shooting on 2nd Avenue. Again, there had been a series of this between '05 and that time frame. And as a result, we actually ended up having a community meeting relating to it. And in fact, prior to that time, this office had written a 14-page analysis to the city manager and police department, etc., explaining what the circumstances in Suffolk were relating to gangs and our recommendations on where we needed to go. Well, in April of '07, the Suffolk City Council created the first, what I would call, NET team, which is a neighborhood enforcement team. This was a situation that did not previously exist within the police department. Its primary goal was to actually, in a proactive way, go out and identify gangs and to do everything within the bounds of the law to attempt to dismantle them. And hopefully dismantle them before they committed new crimes. This was a part of the recommendations that we had made to the city because we felt that if you don't do it in a proactive way, then simply reacting to the shootings doesn't work. Initially, one NET team was set up, which included 4 police officers and a sergeant. The recommendations in the report that we had submitted were that we really needed 2. We needed 1 for the downtown area of Suffolk. We needed 1 for North Suffolk. And due to budget constraints and limitations from a personnel standpoint, initially the police department was able to create the first unit. And I will tell you, from the time that first unit was created, within the first year, there were a number of arrests of big-time gang leaders in Suffolk. We were extraordinarily busy from a prosecution standpoint in dealing with those cases, and within about a year to a year and a half, we had put behind bars a number of very, very dangerous people who had been the leaders of these gangs. After that time, and at a later time when the funding became available within the police department, a second gang unit was put together for North Suffolk. And I think it's fair to say that was a similar team with 4 members plus a sergeant. Now in Suffolk, that's exactly what we have. We have, in effect, 2 NET teams. They can coordinate and work together. They can do a lot of different things to try to, I call it, take a proactive approach in rooting out the gangs before they commit the crimes. In addition to that, it doesn't work if it's just the police departments that's doing these actions. In the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office, from day one, I appointed Mr. Weiser to head up the gang prosecution program here in Suffolk. We initially started with just him as a prosecutor, and he was on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for any needs that the net team may have. It soon became clear that we needed to expand the number of attorneys that we had available for a variety of reasons to work with the police department. And I think it's fair to say that today we have 2 attorneys who are specially trained in the juvenile division, where we have individuals who are less than 18 years old that are involved in gangs and committing the crimes. In addition, we have 3 that are generally utilized when we have adults that are committing these gang types of activities. And I think it's fair to say that the coordinated approach that we have taken, that is the police department working with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, as well as many other agencies in Suffolk, have had a profound impact in a positive way. There's one other thing, and I'll let Jim talk about it,
Sure.
that in Suffolk we created an actual gang task force where we meet on a monthly basis with many other agencies so that we are constantly sharing information and doing positive things to make sure we minimize the influence of gangs in Suffolk. And Jim, you may want to discuss specifically those particular issues since Jim actually chairs that committee.
Okay.
We meet periodically, sometimes monthly, sometimes every other month, and get together. We coordinate on our efforts to certainly suppress and eradicate gangs. And sometimes that includes, the sharing of intelligence. We have our net officers here, representatives from the net units, both north and south. We have Western Tidewater Regional Jail, as you can imagine. That their information in the jail is helpful. Adult probation and parole, juvenile probation and parole. We have folks from the sheriff's office, because they're all over the city serving subpoenas. They see graffiti, gang graffiti out there, and they know what is being tagged and where it's being tagged, so they're very helpful. We have Virginia State Police and gang specialists from that agency. Certainly our office is involved, and even the school system has representatives here. So it's a real collaborative effort, and I think it's become very beneficial, I think, to us staying on top of it, not just reacting to it, but actually staying ahead of the looming violence, I think. So.
Well, it's certainly obvious that a lot of effort has been put in by the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. What progress has been made due to the efforts of your office and the police department, collaborating and working together? Have you seen, a decrease in gang activity?
Let me say this. First thing that we've seen, and we saw, and we've seen it especially, say, within the last 5 years, is a continued decrease in the number of homicides, especially that are related to gang activity. Well, first of all, there's been a decrease in homicides, period. But in addition to that, we've seen an especially decrease in the instance of violent crimes by gang-affiliated, particularly homicides, as opposed to where we were back when the net team was put together. So I think without question, there has been a substantial reduction in the proliferation of the gang activity. Now, that doesn't mean they're fully eliminated, but what we have seen is that when we first started, a lot of the leaders of the gangs were adults. Now what we're finding is more of the gang activity is at a much earlier age, where they're juveniles. And while that sounds like something you don't want, it's significant, because what it's saying is before they even become adults, we are now going after those at a juvenile age to try to suppress the gang activity. But one of the things we do in addition to prosecution, and that we have really worked on, is the education and prevention piece of it. Because you have to educate young people in that they don't want to become a member of a gang. Because if they do, they're going to be serious consequences. And that is something we've done, and we're now in every middle and high school in the city of Suffolk. We make presentations annually to every single high school and middle school in the city of Suffolk. So I think all of those things put together has put Suffolk in a much stronger position than we were prior to the creation of the NET team. And I think we're doing, working very hard collectively and in cooperation with each other to really make Suffolk as safe a place as is humanly possible.
Right, and that is the overall goal, is the safety of our citizens, youth and adults alike.
Absolutely.
And it's very evident that you all are doing your part to make that happen. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we unfortunately have to wrap up this segment of Safety First, but I would like to thank you again for joining me. And
Thank you.
this has been Safety First. We'll see you next time.